this year has been a year of developments around the Cypriot problem, and you were brought up to date about those developments by the president himself and his men, the government in general. How would you say things have been different since the last convention? Are you more optimistic? Do you see that these developments are towards the right direction? Is it possible that we'll actually have a solution plan within a year before the parliamentary elections, as Mr. Akinci wants it to?
Well, the major difference is the election of Mr. Akinci as the Turkish Cypriot leader. He seems to be saying that he wants a solution, but in back of my mind, and as I said in my speech, I'm not very optimistic, because I know that in back of Mr. Akinci there's 40,000 Turkish troops and a leader in Turkey by the name of Erdogan that's not willing to bend or compromise or I don't even think he wants a solution.
But we have a new rhetoric right now. We had Savusoglu just a few days ago saying that, yeah, we do really want a solution for the Cyprus problem now. We are willing to work towards that direction, which are statements that we didn't have in the past. I'm not saying they're genuine or they're honest by any means, but we have those statements, and that is something different.
It's true, but we had statements like that in the past. I'm just not optimistic because little things have not been accomplished. Even this thing on the missing. Mm-hmm. It's not a very difficult situation. It's a humanitarian issue. The 33 military zones could have been opened already. They're not even military zones. There's nothing there. There's just a permission. I think the openings and of the crossings, I was in Eftyhia Andreou last night. They were complaining of that they're not allowed to cross. That flag on the mountain that I see every morning could be removed and replaced by flowers of peace and unity. I mean, there's little things. He also mentioned about the return of Famagusta, that all of a sudden cannot be accomplished. So if they really want a solution, there's as much weight on the Turkish Cypriots than it is on the Greek Cypriots. Because even though the Greek Cypriots have lost their homes, the Turkish Cypriots also lost their homes in the south, and it's up to them to fight with us against Turkey. And I'm not saying fight in terms of with weapons. I'm saying they have to stand up. For the Republic of Cyprus did its job. They gave them European passports that they use to travel all over Europe. The Republic of Cyprus allows them to cross and get jobs in the south. They pay no taxes. They have my home and they live like many others. The person that lives in my home in Geringan pays no rent. Mm-hmm. I don't have it.
This is all information that the Greek Cypriots and the Turkish Cypriots know very well. And it is your mission to get the word out there abroad in the US and elsewhere.
Well, it's not a matter of getting the word. It's a matter at this point, the political will of the Turkish Cypriots to stand up to Turkey. And, Akinci may have it, but those that have it, they're afraid to speak out. Yeah. I met with some of the Turkish Cypriots. They're afraid to speak. The settlers are overwhelming. There's more than 300,000 settlers that come in the north. And I think the reason why I'm a little upset is that before the opening of the Green Line that we had, the Turkish Cypriots were demonstrating before we entered the European Union, and they were demonstrating against Denktash. And I had meetings with Turkish Cypriots. We were going to help them financially to continue to demonstrate against the Turkish troops. But the decision of the Republic of Cyprus to basically open the Green Line, allow the Turkish Cypriots to have passports. There is no incentive on the part of the Turkish Cypriots to really feel that they're Cypriot citizens of ethnic Turkish ethnicity, they feel like Turks of Turkey. So we have to look at that situation and see how we go from there.
And you're trying to, I'm not going to say influence, but you're working with the American government to promote the Cypriot problem and its solution.
We're trying to influence. There's no question about it. We're trying to influence.
US has been in a electoral path the last few weeks, last few months.
Well, what happened is, Turkey is a country of 75 million people. Turkey is the 15th largest economy in the world. It has the largest NATO army of 800,000. It is a country of geopolitical and geographic location. And they seem to be very fortunate. When the Soviet Union fell, and we thought that their position will weaken, then Muslim fundamentalism came about. Members of the American government are in the State Department are naive. They think that Turkey is the best thing since sliced bread because of their region and the fact that they believe that it's a true democracy, that it's even though it's a Muslim country, they feel it's a democratic country. The only thing they have to look at is how the Kurds are being treated in Turkey, and the 25% minority of Kurdish descent in Turkey. I often say to American politicians that they deserve to have 25% territory as their own, and they deserve to have 50% political equality as they demand here in Cyprus.
And what's the answer you get when you state that?
Well, it's a matter of education. But Turkey is also a country that spends money. They spend millions of dollars in think tanks to basically infiltrate universities and think tanks by promoting Turkey as a Western secular Muslim country. And remember that the objective of the American government is to prove, which failed, by the way, dismal failure. The foreign policy of Obama has been a disaster, beginning with Libya, Egypt, Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria. There hasn't been one success. They are now thinking that the Iran nuclear agreement may be a success. I doubt that too. But right now, to our favor, Mr. Erdogan has made some serious mistakes. The fact that he went against Israel has created a tremendous opportunity for us. And I want to see acceleration of a Cyprus-Israel-Greek alliance. The fact that the Turks now, they're supposed to be bombing ISIS. Instead, they're bombing the Kurds. So the Kurds are the only ones that are really fighting against the ISIS. So it's given us some opportunity to prove to the State Department and to the Pentagon that Turkey is not the reliable ally that everybody thinks. And we remind them that during the Iraq War, they did not allow our troops to cross. And until recently, they didn't even allow us to use the military base of Incirlik that's in Turkey for our planes to be taken off against ISIS.
But again, even if they do realize that Turkey is not the ally, the stable ally in the area that they wanted, and they've been stating for decades that they're with the right thing to do, they're for a solution for the Cyprus problem based on international law and in UN decisions, but we see every time that when a serious and a definite decision needs to be made and implemented, the US usually pulls back. How is this time different? Is it any different? Even if we point out that Turkey will not be there for you, we still have NATO, and they still have the economy.
Well, I think the big, as I said, the development of trust has been cracked. The Israeli-Turkish alliance has been broken. the emergence of Kurdistan, which is the northern Iraq area, and we are hoping that Kurdistan will receive recognition, international recognition as a country. I think it has weakened Turkey to a certain degree. The fact that they always said that they wanted to be a member of the Europe, but they really did not want to join the European Union, and the fact that Europe really doesn't want them in. So Turkey is facing some issues. They have more than 2 million Syrian refugees coming into their country, and unfortunately that affects the Greek islands as well. But that is an issue, a big issue. The fact that they are now opening a force against the Kurds, although they have always been fighting the Kurds, with the emergence of Kurdistan and the fact that the Kurdish soldiers are fighting side by side with American soldiers against ISIS, puts Turkey in a different light. So I think there's going to be a re-examination and a review whether or not Turkey and Mr. Erdogan is the magician that everybody thought he was. He's very good in public relations, but his bottom line, he's a Muslim fundamentalist.
Will a new government in the US see Erdogan and Turkey in this different light?
Well, it is our job to try and educate, and we try and educate, and we try and do the best that we can in terms of people seeing Turkey in the right light. Now, we are not anti-Turks, and we realize that Turkey has things to contribute, but Turkey should not be occupying Cyprus. They should pull their troops out, and they should allow the refugees to go back to their homes and have a European republic here that's not only for Greeks and Turks, but we have Armenians, you have Russians. Last I looked, you have 185,000 residents that are neither Greek or Turkish. Where are these people going to be? In the air in the new bizonal solution? So it's something that we keep pointing out. Now, I am not here to speak up against a solution. I'm for a solution. I'm from Gerinia, and I would love to have the ability to go back, whether it's for the summers or vacation or whatever. But I don't think anybody should want a solution that makes the Greek citizens a second-class European citizen in any way, or does not give you equal rights and equal freedoms that we enjoy in our country.
Thank you so very much for your time.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
And thank you for watching.